All right, guys, today we got a real special guest. You may not know him by name, but he's worked with some of your favorite artists and helped A&Rs, some of the biggest projects. I'm talking about Eminem, Canibus, Chino XL, DMX, and more. I'm talking about the one and only almighty M80. You getting your dance on?
Yeah, buddy. You know, if no one else is going to champion your shit, you got to do it yourself.
Right, man. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. I just brought home my new vehicle. I added a Rolls Royce to the fleet. And, you know, my parents are like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I'm like, you created this monster. Well, you should know. That's what it is. And, you know, all the neighbors come out and they're like, God damn, where are you putting that thing? I'm like, probably on the street. They're like, you are hilarious. I'm like, I'm not kidding.
How many vehicles you got?
8.
8.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Because sometimes you're going to want to drive multiple cars in a day. Otherwise, just one a day will suffice.
All right, so I like to cover things in chronological order. So let's start at the beginning. Where are you originally from?
I hail from Toledo, Ohio, hence the company name Holy Toledo Productions, which is a very famous saying amongst Toledoans.
How would you describe Toledo to people that have never been there before?
Toledo is ranked as the second most miserable city in America. It's you know, as middle class as it gets, and it's wholesome. I had a very wholesome upbringing with very, you know, just down to earth, like good-hearted, good-natured people. And as I moved to places like California and New York, especially with women, they would always, you know, ask like, "You're not from here, are you?" And I'd say, "No, I'm from the Midwest." They'd be like, "Yeah, I can tell, like, because it seems like you actually care when I'm speaking." That was big amongst the ladies. Like, yes, I actually do care.
So how many years did you live there for?
Toledo until I was 13.
And then you ended up moving where?
From Toledo, Ohio to Indianapolis, Indiana.
And what was the driving factor for the move?
Oh, my father lost his job as an administrator for St. Bede's Hospital and then became either the president or the vice president of a company called Star Alliance in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's essentially like the Midwest version of the DARE program, which people think is hilarious. Like, I was an avid dealer of drugs in my formidable high school and early college years. So, you know, that's kind of like its own Breaking Bad scenario. That my dad spent his entire, he's retired now, and my mom's about to retire at the end of this year. But my dad spent his entire working career in like the philanthropic field, between Star Alliance, and he worked for the Simon Property Group. Every time they would acquire a new property, they would fund a school for like at-risk youth. So my dad oversaw all the schools. But my dad worked as an administrator for the Red Cross, and he ended his work career working for the A&R Foundation, which is for like autistic behavioral issues.
Wow. So what did your mom end up doing for work?
My mom was a primary school educator. She taught Sunday school. She worked many years for my grandpa's furniture business in Toledo, Ohio, and she is now a famous interior decorator in Indianapolis, Indiana.
And you grew up with one brother?
Yeah, I have one older brother. Hey, check this out mid-interview. Yes, I would like a sandwich.
Would you like ham or turkey?
Turkey, cheese, mayo, lettuce, bacon. I got bitches making me sandwiches that aren't my wife.
How would you describe yourself as a kid?
I was always like the class clown type. Just kind of like, some people call it a loner. I just call it like socially ambitious. You know, I was like friends with every group of people, especially in high school. Like, and you know, oh, those are the cool kids, and these are the rock kids, these are the skater kids, these are the art kids. And it's like, I was already M80, the artist. So it's like, I'm talking to everyone because every person's a potential sale and every person's a potential connection to something. You know, that's what people, I think reflecting back on like high school and college, I never had that issue, but a lot of people just stick to their niche. So they don't understand, like, for a creative like myself that went from creative to executive, like, you want to know as many people as possible. You want to be plugged in as many circles as possible because you never know what opportunities are going to present itself from where.
And that made you like a much more like well-rounded person too, I'm sure, just being able to interact with everyone.
Because at my core, I genuinely care about others.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not probably be that way if it was not for interacting with people from all different socioeconomic, life paths, um, races, creeds, ethnicities, you know, socioeconomic statuses, whatever it is. It's like I find the good in people and try to only see that until I'm proven otherwise.
So how would you describe your childhood as far as like the traditional, like was the household traditional? Like was it very religious?
No, we were Judaism is like Orthodox, Reform, and conservative. My family's conservative. We're your typical Ashkenazi Jews. Um, like so, like we can have a cheeseburger. We could have chicken and dairy and stuff like that. Like like Orthodox Jews have never had like a cheeseburger. Like it's crazy. Could you imagine going through life without having a cheeseburger? I can't. I don't want to live in that kind of world.
It has to be kosher, right?
Yeah. Yes. So, we still like worked on the weekends and played and like did activities, whereas like, other sects of Judaism like shut down and stuff like that. And those are like your observing days. And on the seventh day, God rested and so on and so forth. Well, the Almighty Almighty God, he works every day. He gets very little rest. I'm exhausted right now. I've been clocking 100 plus hours a week between actual work to maintain my family and this book I'm writing that's coming out November 3rd called 100 Ways I Almost Died While Working in the Rap Industry, based on a fuck ton of true stories. And my God, it is excellent.
Right. And we're going to talk about that later.